So this is a video topic that just come to me as I'm sitting here editing this most recent vlog that I'm about to put up on the channel. But I'm just sitting here kind of just going through my thoughts, thinking about some of the messages that I've gotten from some of you guys. And one thing that came to my mind is what really causes a relationship to go left? Like, how can things start out so great, right? You meet someone and you have those feelings of like butterflies and anticipation, always wanting to talk to them, always wanting to be around them. When they're not around, you're thinking about what they're doing, thinking about things you guys want to scratch off the bucket list, like everything that is crucial for a relationship to come together in the first place, right? All those feelings of butterflies and jitters and just hope, you know what I mean? Admiration, like it's all that is there at some point. But then to get to a point to where it's no longer there, like what happens? Where's the switch? You know what I mean? What gets you from here to there? You know what I mean? Like how does that happen? How can you be so on the edge of your seat for someone and for them to feel the same about you, and then that just changes? Like what happens? What causes that? And so, you know, something that I think is fairly known to most of us, but not really understood fully, is it's communication, man. Communication. Like, how do you continue to communicate and connect on a level that sustains you? Not only in the good times, but when things get rough. Because, I mean, life is life. People go through things. People change. If you meet your high school sweetheart when you guys are 15, 16, 17 years old, you're not going to be the same people when you're 20, 25, 30, you know, 35 and beyond. Like, you're not going to be the same people. You're going to change. You're going to become more of who you are. I hesitate to say the word change. Let me substitute that. You're going to become more of who you are, right? I don't think people just change. I think things that are already developed and things that already exist inside of us may continue to develop over time, depending on the lifestyles that we choose, you know, what attributes, what intangibles that we choose to develop and entertain, right? But nonetheless, like, things will be different. Things will be different. Things will look different. You will feel different. You meet new people. You gain new hobbies, interests. Like, you will become something new. And how do you maintain that same respect, that same bond and chemistry with another person over such a period of time? And I think communication is at the crux of that. I think the failure to continue to communicate because you feel like you already know certain things. Like, oh, there's no point in me bringing this up because I already know how they'll respond. Oh, there's no point in me. There's no point in me having this conversation because I already know the answer. You know what I mean? Like, once you stop talking about things, once you stop bringing things to the forefront and being open about how you're feeling and what your hopes and dreams and your goals are and stuff like that, and what you want to work towards, once that stops, I think things get dangerous. Like, that's when you begin to walk on that slippery slope. You know, I'm just thinking about all the ways that I could have been better in the past. All the ways that I could have been better in the past. Mainly in the way of like making sure someone felt seen and recognized and valued. You know, life runs its course for all of us. You know what I mean? What's important to you right now may not be important to you tomorrow, next week, or next year. But as two individuals in a relationship, a romantic relationship, a bonded relationship like that, these are things that can't just be assumed. Like at times, yes, it's not, certain things have to be like understood, right? If we're in a relationship and we're together, I don't feel like you should question if I love you or not. You know what I mean? If I'm attracted to you or not. I don't think you should have to question that on a day-to-day basis. But at the same time, can my actions lead you to question that? Sure. Can my lack of action lead you to question that? Absolutely. Is it for me to feel like I need to always be reminding you that? Is it for me to feel like I need to always be proving to you and going out of my way and making sure like, hey, like I need to do this and do that. Like I need to be tending to you to make sure you feel at peace and secure within yourself, within this, you know what I mean? This relationship that we have. Like, no, I don't think so. I think it's up to us as individuals to come to a place to where we are secure within ourselves, where we are content with what's been established. But that still has to be fed, that still has to be nourished over time. It has to be. I remember there being times where someone that I was with, one of their things were like they needed to hear it, right? So they were like, I guess, I don't really know like the different terms they have for this stuff, but they were one of those people like they needed to hear it, right? If you love me, every now and then, tell me that. If you think I look pretty today, tell me. You know what I mean? They were one of those types of individuals, and so I think I was very, very diligent of that, especially at the very beginning, of course. But then over time, to me, it was like, okay, if I've made that known to you and I'm continuing to exist within the confines of this relationship, mutually, between you and I, how much more do I need to continue to tell you that? Do you need to wake up to a text every day? Hey, you look pretty today, or good morning, beautiful. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Like, how necessary is that for you to feel validated in that way? And for some people, it's that necessary. For some people, it is that necessary. They do need that confirmation. You know what I mean? And I used to see that as a problem. Like, man, how realistic is that? Like, I have to go out of my way to remind you this, like, this often? I'm here, aren't I? You know what I mean? I'm with you out in public. I smile with you in pictures. I'm affectionate towards you. Like, this attraction should be understood, right? It's been established. Why do you continue to question that? Why is it on me to continue to reassure you of that? This constantly. And as much as I used to have issues with that and I couldn't understand it, now, as I look back on it, I think it was a lot more my responsibility than I was willing to accept, because every relationship is different. Every relationship is different. The boundaries are different. The agreement is going to be different. For some people, it is that necessary, and if you understand that and you truly value this person, then you have to be willing to take that on. If that's something, if I'm talking to another gentleman right now, if that's something that she feels like she needs to hear, then that's something you have to be willing to tell her. If you want her, if you are pursuing her, and this is the person that you're, desiring to have a future with, like, you need to take that on. That is an obligation. And if that's something that you're willing to submit to and accept, then do that. Then do that. Don't do it now and then stop doing it later. No, hold true to that. If it's not something that you're capable of, if it's not something that you're on board with and in agreement with, then make that known. And then see if she's willing to adjust. Okay, look, I'm not about to sit here and text you, good morning, beautiful, every day. I'm just not doing it. I don't have the capacity for that. But maybe I'll do it twice a week. Maybe I'll do it twice a week. Seriously, I'm being serious. Like, is there room for compromise? I'm not willing to do this, but I'm willing to do this. Can you meet me here? Right? That kind of thing. And at the same time, it puts her in a position to understand, like, look, okay, is this something that's important to me? Is this something that I need to hear? Is this an affirmation of mine that I need from him? Yes, it is. Okay. All right. Maybe every day is a little unrealistic, right? Maybe that's a little much. Okay. Maybe I can do, let's try 3 times a week, right? I know you're talking to, let's try 3 times a week. Just a compliment. Just tell me how you think I look. Tell me something about myself, right? I just want to hear something, a compliment on my appearance, right? Can we do 3 times a week? I just want to wake up to that text. I enjoy getting that from you. Okay, I can meet you at 3 times a week. But understanding that on the days that you don't get that, why is it that you need to hear that? What is it inside you that requires that so much? Is it an insecurity of yours? Because if that's the case, then it's not for him to change that or to make you secure in that. Because he can never do that. Because on the days that he doesn't do it, that now puts him at fault. That now puts him at fault. You're putting a burden on him that he can never truly satisfy. He can assist you in, but he can never solely truly satisfy. So you have to get to a place where you understand, like, look, this is how I feel about myself. He's made it known that he feels this way about me as well. I need to be secure in that regardless, and he's willing to remind me of that at times when I need it. Can we make an agreement on that? Can we both establish that and move forward in that? Yes? Okay. Let's do it. That was a place, like what I just said and presented to you, I wasn't there in the past. And it wasn't even that I didn't understand it, because I think to an extent I did, even as far as I was able to relay that to you just now, but I wasn't willing to like accept it in that way, because the experience of a man and a woman they're completely different. And I think majority of us understand that. Maybe not accept it, but I think we understand that. But I was in a place of like, look, some females are going to find me attractive, some aren't. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? Regardless of if by society standards, like I fall in this category or not, you know, I think I'm more on the end of like being universally attractive, handsome, right? Sometimes you're someone's cup of tea, sometimes you're not. You know what I mean? But do I feel confident in myself that regardless of how someone perceives me, this is who I am? I think as men, we have to accept that at a point in life far earlier than females do, because that's just a competitive world that we live in. It doesn't really allow for us to be delayed in that sort of development without facing consequence. If that makes sense, I hope I worded that in a understandable way. But I think we have to come to that realization a lot. We're often expected to come to that realization a lot sooner than a female is. And with that being the case, I didn't need that sort of reinforcement. I didn't need it. So I couldn't understand why she did. I couldn't understand it. It's like, look, I've made this known already. Like, why do I have to constantly, you know what I mean? Like, why do I have to constantly remind you of this? I just said it to you yesterday. Nothing changed from yesterday to today. Like, why do you not understand this? Why didn't that compliment just carry over? And whether it should have or should not have, I should have been more willing to be like, look, if I truly care about this person, this is something that's important to them, even if I don't fully understand it, or even I don't want to get tripped up with my verbiage here. I wanted to say even if I don't even fully agree with it, but I think I'm not sure if I can use that word. I'm not sure. I would have to ponder on that a little bit. But even if I don't fully understand it, to accept that this is where she is, and maybe down the line there's room for development and that can all change and look different. But as of right now, this is where she is. This is what she needs to feel at peace, right? How can I help her stay there in that place of peace while we work gradually to get here? What is it that I can do? How can I assist in that? And then gather feedback, have those conversations, and then am I willing to adapt or am I not? And this is just one scenario that can apply to many different things, within a relationship between two individuals, specifically in a romantic sense, for the sake of this video. But I failed at that miserably in the past. Failed. And I think I know now moving forward that has to be different. It has to be. Unless I want history to repeat itself, which I don't, I have to be different in that way. And I am. Because I'm able to sit in front of you right now and say just that. I am. Will it be easy? I doubt it. But am I willing to try? Absolutely. And I think the other person has to also receive that, right? It's always like a checks and balances system. Like, okay, if you want me to meet you here, you have to also meet me here, right? If you're struggling here, I can help you. But understand, I'm gonna now struggle in helping you. So I need you to also help me. You see what I'm saying? Like it's a challenge, man. It's a challenge, but I think over time, as you kind of play this game, and the days just start to stack, and the weeks and the months and the years over time, and you look back and you see how far you've grown, and I think it creates this full circle kind of picture of intent. Yeah. I gotta get back to editing this video. May God bless you in your relationship and whatever you guys are struggling with, whatever you struggled with in the past. going forward in your next relationship, just be intentional. Know what your boundaries are. Know what you're willing to sacrifice. Know what you're not willing to sacrifice. And just be intentional about it. I love you. Appreciate you. And as always, God willing, I will see you in the next one. Peace.